Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Encouraged Overcomer podcast. I'm your host, Iesha Grove, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Have you ever gone to a conference and got so much value from the messages only to forget or do nothing about the information? If that's you, then you are in the right place. I recently went to a conference and got so much from it, and I don't want it to go to waste. So, I'm not here to just tell you what I heard from the most amazing business leaders, success coaches, and thought leaders out there. But you are going to walk away with tools that you can use so that you can take action in your life and become that successful person that you desire to be. So if that's you, then stay tuned for this podcast episode. I have my handy dandy notebook and my notes up on the side here for me to review as I'm speaking. But I'm so excited. I've took so many copious notes. And the funny thing is that I'm a notebook person. I have done digital note taking only to go back to the handy dandy notebook. And my husband knows me so well and loves me so much that I recently went to an event, and his gift to me before I left to the airport was this beautiful compact notebook. And I absolutely love it. And this is what I had with me during the event. So if you go to an event, a conference that is, just there to encourage you and to give you lots of tools, make sure you have something to take notes with. That's number one. In whether it is in a notebook or you do it on your computer, your phone, your laptop, whatever it is, make sure that you have something to take notes with and you're in good shape, because then you can always go back and review the notes. And also, it is a good thing to write down what you're hearing because it helps some information to stick. Now, the first takeaway that I got from this conference is make sure that there's something in your life that you're excited about. What are you excited to wake up for? What do you look forward to? I know people who are looking forward to the Super Bowl. They are going to plan Super Bowl appetizers and meals. They're going to have people around. They're going to have bowls and plates and cups that are decorated with little footballs on them. And they're going to be excited about it and look forward to it. And that's great and all to have different events in your life that you look forward to above anything else. But what about every single day? Waking up every single day and deciding when you wake up that there's going to be one thing that you're excited about. I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing I could schedule this week that gives me energy instead of draining it? One thing that you can schedule this week that gives you energy instead of draining your energy. I have an example. There was a time in my life when I thought that doom scrolling was bringing me energy until I realized that I had been sitting on the toilet so long sometimes that my whole legs and body would go numb from sitting on the toilet. And I would look at my clock and realize that I had been sitting there for 30 minutes scrolling. And it would just be like I was just consuming things. I was seeing cute videos and then I would DM my husband and send them to him, and just in my mind I'm like, "Oh, I need to send this to Angelo. I need to send this to Angelo." And I would just send him all these videos. It was so many that he couldn't even catch up or see the videos. And I'd be like, "Did you see the video I sent you?" And he'd tell me, "What video? I mean, you sent me so many." It was just ridiculous. It was an ongoing cycle. And not only that, but I am the kind of person that sometimes I internalize things unnecessarily so. And I would be on social media scrolling, and there would be different things that would happen. I would see some people using social media like it's a diary and just telling all the news. And a lot of times it was negative and it would irritate me. There were some times I would see people just posting the highlights of their life, and it would just make me feel bad about my own. There was other times where I was posting something just to let people into my life a little bit, just a little bit. And then someone would irritate me with a comment that just like would discredit something that I had done, because it's like, well, you're that's fine. You do that. That's who you are. And it's like, no, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know that about me. That's not fair. And I would just get irritated. And there would always be something that would happen. It would just drive me nuts. I don't know if this is you, but that is just how I felt. It was a roller coaster when I was on social media, and I had to put a stop to it. It was draining me. I was spending energy just thinking about, wow, how did that person get that? What did they do? And I was like, no, you need to just get off of there. You need to get off of there. So if you are looking for me on Facebook, you're not going to see me there, because I have deactivated my account for I don't know how long at this point, but I realized that I needed to take a moment to just work on me and also to focus. My word of the year this year is grounded. And to me, that means to be centered. It means to just get rid of distractions and to be in alignment with the things that God has called me to do, and do them regardless of what the person next to me is doing. So if you have had similar feelings in your life, then I want to encourage you to do a social media detox. And you can pick the time. You can even say the last 2 hours of the day, I'm not going to be on social media. You don't have to deactivate your account like I did. It is whatever resonates with you. I'm not telling you to do what I've done. I'm just sharing what I have done that has helped me. And that was one thing that I thought brought me energy. I was like, this is my time. Or I would park my car. I would get home, park my car. And then since I wasn't driving anymore, I would pick up my phone, and then I would just scroll through social media. It was like, since I wasn't on it all day, let me catch up. And I would sit in my car. And sometimes my husband would text me and say, Iesha, are you coming into the house? I'd be so offended. Like, this is my me time. What do you mean? I don't know if you've ever been there, but it is just the things we tell ourselves to just justify what we do is just it's just interesting. And that was one thing that was draining my energy. There are other things that drain your energy, and you might not realize that they do. For example, you might eat a heavy lunch and just feel so groggy that you feel like you have to take a nap, and you take a nap. You think that that's energy, that's giving you energy, and instead it's draining you, because there are foods that you can eat that won't give you that crash. And also, the thing that you can swap it out for is committing to taking a 10-minute walk after each meal. And it doesn't have to be anything specific. It could be getting on a walking pad and walking. It could be going and walking around the block twice and just setting a timer for 10 minutes. If you're having trouble getting steps in and you're one of those people that you wear a Fitbit like I do and you want to get your steps in, and I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't have steps as a goal, but if that is you, then taking the time to just circle around the block or and just keep that timer on for 10 minutes, get you about 1,000 steps. So there you go. That is energy giving instead of energy draining. And that is how you can swap out one thing for another. Another thing that I'm doing is in place of social media, I am reading. I have a goal to read 24 books in 2026. It comes out to about 2 books a month. And that helps me to get my goal a little faster. So it's all about how you want to approach it. So pick one thing. And here's the action. Not only are you going to pick the thing to schedule, but you can take this another level and put it on your calendar for a specific day and time of the week. And just start with one. Just start with one. If you're already at one, go to two. If you're already at two, go to three. And put a specific time on your calendar. And I don't mean just put it on your calendar, because I have put things on my calendar and never looked at it again, except at the end of the month when I'm like, oh, wow, I need to redo this calendar because I was not even doing the thing I said I was going to do. But a way that can help you is not only just setting a calendar, but set an alarm for yourself on your phone. And here's the tip: obey the alarm. Obey it. There are times when the alarm would go off, I would set an alarm. I would even get so far as to skip that from time to time. But eventually, just the fact that you set the alarm and you put it into motion, you'll keep seeing and put a message there to yourself about what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You will see that and it'll trigger something in you. And eventually, it'll get you in a good place and space. And another thing you can do that would help with this, I've given you all the goods. So if you're getting goods right now, you need to pause this episode and grab a pen and paper and get your handy dandy notebook, or get your Remarkable, your digital notebook, your laptop, whatever it is. Take these notes. I'm telling you, these are things that have changed my life, and I want success for you. I want success for every single person that is listening to this, because I have lived in just being stuck. I have lived in procrastination. I have lived in thoughts, self-limiting beliefs that where I felt like I just wasn't good enough, or I felt like I was not doing enough. I just always had to be doing something and being an overachiever, and always was searching and seeking and wanting to be better and do better. And these are things that are going to launch you towards your dreams and help you build that momentum that you need. You don't need motivation. You need momentum. Momentum. Once you get past the inertia to just do something, you do it in a micro movement. You do something very, very small, micro habits, and you just stay consistent with it. And then you add something else on, it is going to multiply your efforts exponentially. And I am somebody who can tell you that this has worked for me. So this advice that I heard is not just advice, it is something that you can apply. So we are not just going to figure out what things we're doing that are draining us as opposed to giving us energy. We are going to go to our calendars and or set your alarm to remind you just once a week or more times, if you're already doing this, for a specific time of the day where you know that this time has the least amount of friction for you, and you are able to complete the task. Maybe it's writing for 15 minutes in your journal. Maybe it is doing 5 minutes of stretching before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning. And whatever that specific time is, you just put that time in and then you just obey the time. And it doesn't, I know that sounds so simple. It is, but it's not easy. If it was easy, then we would have no need for all the information that is out there in this world. A lot of us know what to do, but we just get stuck in the how and then we don't do it. And so this will help you to build your momentum and inch your way to success. Let me get to the next point because this is getting better and better. And I have just learned so much that I think is going to be helpful for anyone who wants success in their life. So, takeaway number 2, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. That was specifically David Meltzer. I love this because for a long time, I grew up thinking that money was bad. I grew up hearing the words that the love of money is the root of all evil. And it is true that the love of money is the root of all evil. But if you listen to the words of this statement, it says, make a lot of money, making a lot of money so that you can help a lot of people. So it's not about the money, it's about the impact. And each and every single person in this life has people that you and only you can impact. And you and only you can help them in the way that you can help them. And the more that you sit around and you try to sit in the how, it is halting you from going out there and helping the people who truly need it. And when you impact others on a higher level, money is the result. And it's taking me a while to get over that because I had so many self-limiting beliefs around money. I grew up and we did not have money in my home. We were constantly, we were on financial assistance. We were constantly like just trying to scrap by and seek opportunities from, community resources to just make it in this life. And it was just, we had a large family. We were just trying to figure it out. And when I got older, I was just like, just every single ounce of money, I was like, it's my money, I earned it, and I should be able to spend it the way I want. And I did not have a healthy mindset when it came to money. I didn't. And unfortunately, it took me a lot of years to figure this out. The Bible says that our God is a God who will give us not just what we ask for, he will give you exceedingly abundantly above all that you ask or think. That is the kind of God we serve. And he wants you to live this life that we are here on earth abundantly. You know why? Because you have access to him. You were made in the image of God. God is the one who owns every single mountaintop, every creature, every penny. He owns it all. And he is a father to you. And this isn't for you to go to God and beg him. God, give me this. No, it's to believe him for it. Believe him. Take him at his word. I love the verse Mark 11:24 that talks about like if we are believing it when we ask it of him, he's given it to us. It's already there. And there's sometimes we see these verses and we think that it's just not for us. It couldn't possibly mean what it says. And I don't know about you, but that for me, it's like this is my year that I stopped listening to those self-limiting beliefs telling me that that's not for me. I want that for you too. But let's get into the action because we know money is a tool and we know that we want to impact others. And a lot of times we want to be able to make money doing what we love. Why not? We want to do that. So here it is. I am going to scroll down here. Brian Tracy once said, if you knew that you couldn't fail, and money wasn't an obstacle, what would you do with your life? And I'm paraphrasing here. That's not the exact quote, but he said something along those lines. And I've heard other people say it in different ways, similar to this. So if money was not an obstacle for you, and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you be doing with your life right now? It's quiet because I want you to really think about this. Whatever you just thought about is what you need to be doing right now. It's not about the how, it's about the now. If you stay stuck in the how, but how, but how, but how, but how, you will sit there thinking all day. If you think about what is one small action I can take right now to get me there, and you do it, and you continue to show up for yourself, that is going to build you up. That is going to bring the confidence in your life. That is going to help you to do things before you're ready. And while everyone's sitting around waiting for the perfect timing, you're going to be an action taker and you're going to look around you. And before you know it, you're going to realize that you have that thing right there in your hands. You have that dream in your life. And that's the kind of God that we serve, the God that will give that to you and give you abundantly above it. And that's what you can walk away believing. That was takeaway number 2. Now, the next thing that I want to share with you, and I'm skipping some of these because there's so many, but I want to be just mindful that I can't keep you here for 3 hours. I mean, I technically can, but I don't want to do that. The next takeaway, it's the meaning you give your past that determines your self-image. Your self-image is what you believe about yourself to be true. And it's the meaning that you give to your past that determines your success today. I have an example. So when I was younger, I went through some just traumatic experiences that I didn't understand. And I kept them quiet for a long time, but inside, I was angry. And I wanted to just be the complete opposite than what I was growing up in, what was surrounding me. Because when I was younger and I didn't have the understanding, and I was just told that I was just a bad kid, I was like, well, if they say I'm bad, I'm bad. And I was proving everybody right. And then when I got older and I saw this little trickle of good in my life, and I saw that I was a contributor and I could be better and do better, and there was more out there for me, then I started proving everybody wrong. I was like, they're wrong about me. And there's people that were in different phases and stages in my life that saw the different parts of me. People that saw me when I was really young, they were like, Aisha, what? She's out here doing what? And the people who were like, see me in my teenage years when I turned my life around were like, oh, this is just always who she's been. She's always been an overachiever. She's always been, I'm like, what? You just definitely did not know me then, you know? And they didn't see what I had to overcome to get to that point in my life. And then when I was an adult, you would have thought I was on some kind of overachieving drug because I was just trying so hard to just prove that I was enough. I was so afraid of rejection. I just wanted to just be just everything so that no one would ever deny me again. And then I was holding myself back from my dreams because I'm like, people were telling me things. I was listening to people say, oh, you're just naturally good at that. And then making me feel like I didn't work hard enough. And so I was trying to work so hard to just prove to everybody that I was out here doing it and I deserved it. And then there were days where I was just stuck in my head and I was just like feeling like that little girl again and feeling helpless, feeling fearful, afraid of rejection, the fear of failure, fear of what if it doesn't work out, the fear of I'm out here trying to have a better life when this can't be my story. I didn't grow up with this kind of lifestyle. I didn't grow up with these things. I didn't grow up learning these things. Like, who do I think I am? I was like going back and forth with all these different thoughts, these self-limiting beliefs. They held me stuck for so long. And then I started to mature and I realized that I couldn't live in success from a place of bitterness. And I couldn't live in a place of success from a place of of just feeling worthless. Those thoughts no longer served me and the direction in my life that I was going. If you're having those thoughts, they no longer serve you. And there is meaning that you are giving to your past that you may or may not know. And there's things that you're telling yourself, or you might think, like, oh, thoughts that you heard someone else say to you. Oh, you're just big boned. So you're just always gonna be overweight and you're always in uh-uh-uh. Eh, not true. And you say things like, I'm just not ever athletic. I never nothing stopping you from going out and kicking a soccer ball. You can do this. I'm here to tell you that you can do this because I was there. I have been there. In the moment that I started believing in myself and giving myself a chance and thanking God and being grateful for every single thing that happened in my life to bring me to this point of self-awareness and action and forgiveness, everything started to change. And I was no longer operating from a place of anger. I was operating from a place of excellence. And that is what's meant for you too. The takeaway is that it's the meaning you give your past that determines your self-image. And here is what your takeaway is, your action item. We're going to reframe. So I want you to think about one thing in your life that's a setback for you, that you feel disqualifies you from going after your dream. What is that thing? Why aren't you doing the thing you said earlier that you would do if nothing was in your way, if money was an obstacle for you and you couldn't fail, what was it? Okay. What is disqualifying you in your mind? What story have you had on repeat that you kind of let mull over? What is that story that you've had on repeat that you feel disqualifies you? Is it that you don't have enough experience? Is it that there's other people that are out there that are better than you? Is it that you don't have some traumatic story and you came from a good home and so you don't know if you have a story to share? All lies. There is someone out there waiting for you to get started so that you could help them get their breakthrough. So, what was that thought that you feel has disqualified you? You're too old, you're too young. What is it? And I want you to think about that thing and reverse it. Tell yourself, how does that thing actually qualify you? Da-na-na-na-na-na. Yes. How does it qualify you? Now, when I think about this example, I think about the fact that because I went through a time in my life where I struggled to fit in, where I was afraid to take action because I was afraid of making a mistake. Because I went through that, I am uniquely equipped to help people who have fear and feel misunderstood and feel sometimes like they aren't enough. I am equipped to help those people go after their dreams. What is it that you've gone through? And how has it equipped you to be positioned to help someone else? So that's your step. Write it down. What has disqualified you? And how has it actually qualified you? And you can say this in this way: because I went through this, whatever the thing is, I'm uniquely equipped to blank. What are you uniquely equipped to do because of what you've been through? All right. Now, we're staying on task and on track, and I'm going to go to the next one. I'm not even going to say what number it is because I feel like I am losing like my numbers. And I've gone out of order because I want to try to just pull out the key things that I think are going to help you today. So, the next one goes in line with what I just said. Oh my goodness. You will not exceed your own self-image. Oof. It's important to have that audit on your self-image. What have you been allowing to be your story for so long? The thoughts of others, the projections, that doesn't define who you are. And you can overcome that. So that's a part of the one that I just said before that. We're going to kind of merge those together, and so that you can keep that top of mind. All right. So I'm skipping through some things. The next takeaway is when you receive, you're giving someone else a gift. And not just a gift, the greatest gift. It is so hard to receive for some people. And if you're like me, you have a hard time with receiving things, or like I used to be, rather, because I used to not want to receive anything from anybody because I didn't want to feel like I had to owe anybody. And I always felt inside of me that If someone was giving me something, I had to give them something back. I constantly felt like, "Oh, you gave this to me? Oh, well, let me do this. Let me do my part. Let me put in." I wanted to do my part. I wanted to not be dead weight. I wanted to be a contributor. And I was always contributing in my everyday to day life. But when somebody gave me a gift, somehow it almost felt offensive. I was like, "What? No, I don't need that gift. No, keep it." And it was just like that person was just trying to do something kind. But because I was working with my own inner dealings, my own stuff going on in my mind, I was just rejecting a gift from someone. And that's that person's blessing, not only for you, but for them. The heart of a giver is a heart that won't fail. It'll keep going. When you come in with the mindset to just to give, to contribute, then you are not only blessing the person that you're giving to, but you're blessing yourself. And it's easy for us to feel like, yeah, I'm the giver, I'm doing this. But when we receive it, it's very hard. And I want to just share with you that you have permission to accept a gift from someone else and accept it gladly because you are blessing them. And you are saying, hey, you took the time for me. I receive. You got to receive it. It's easy to give it, it's hard to receive it. Receive the gift. So, how do we break this cycle of just wanting to just be the one who's always giving? Say thank you without deflecting. Thank you, but you didn't have to do this. It's like, of course they didn't have to do that. You don't have to say it. Say thank you. Accept it without explaining. And receive a compliment without minimizing. That gift doesn't have to be tangible. I heard someone once say that they would get a compliment from someone about their outfit. And they would say, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got it from the thrift store," and try to be like, "Oh, I didn't pay much for this." And it was like, "Girl, you know you look good. Just thank you." And I started saying this when someone says to me, "Wow, your hair looks really good. Wow." I say to them, "I received that. Thank you. I received that." So the way to do this is say thank you without deflecting, accept it without explaining, and receive a compliment without minimizing. There are people out here who are just trying to lend a helping hand. Yes, you can do it on your own. Yes, you are capable. But it's okay to allow someone to give from their heart from time to time and receive it and expect good things for you to come, just like you expect it for others and you want to help others. All right, we're on to the next takeaway. And I'm going to skip this, what I just saw, but we're going to the next takeaway. If you're not obsessed, you won't possess. If you're not obsessed, you won't possess. Now, this statement was made in regards to your dreams. If you're not obsessed with your dreams, you won't possess it. And it matters to have focused devotion to the thing that you want. And when it says obsessed, it means that you're constantly taking action towards that dream. And to other people, it looks crazy. But if you're not afraid to look crazy, Someone said, if you're not afraid to share your dummy tax, they said this at the conference actually. He's like, people have learned more from my dummy tax than the things that I've done right. And it's like, people will learn from your mistakes. They will learn from those things that you're just like so embarrassed about. You don't want anyone to know. And it's okay. It's okay to look crazy to the people who want to stay stuck, who want to stay average, who want to stay complacent. That's okay, because I've heard this said that no one who is doing more than you will ever criticize you for what you're doing. It's the people that are doing less than you who will usually have something to say. So think about that for a moment and, just stay focused. Stay focused. So here's one action step that you can take. Choose one obsession to honor consistently for the next 30 days. One obsession. And this is how I'm going to apply that message to myself. Choose one obsession to honor consistently for the next 30 days. I am committing that for these next 30 days, one of my obsessions is speaking. I am going to be obsessed so that someday I can possess it. And I'm already, it's crazy. I'm saying that, but I'm already possessing it. I've gotten opportunities that I didn't even ask for to speak on stages to people that I would have never been in a room with or introduced to. And people will come up to me and be like, how are you doing it? How? Like, what is it that's so special about you? It's not what's special about me. It's because I'm obsessed. It's because I'm not obsessed with me. I'm obsessed with helping others. I believe there's a message inside me that can help someone else get their next breakthrough. I believe there's a message inside you that is going to help someone else get their breakthrough. There's just some mess within your message that you have to get through. And there are things that you're going to have to do, regardless of how you feel, of how comfortable you are. In fact, a lot of times the things that make you uncomfortable are the very things that you need to be doing, and you need to be doing consistently. So my obsession for the next 30 days is going to be speaking. And I'm going to map out what that looks like. And I'm going to just commit to taking that action. So if that is something that speaks to you, and it's something that you feel like you're interested in, like how that process is going to work for me, then I'm happy to share it. Definitely put a comment below and let me know. Just say, hey, put obsessed, #obsessed, or just the word obsessed in the comment. And I'll know that you are appreciating more content like this, like what the process is that I take to be obsessed with something and create almost like a mini challenge for myself. And it keeps me on track with my goals. All right. So choose one obsession to honor consistently for the next 30 days. And that doesn't mean you have to be like, somebody might say, well, I'm going to speak on a stage every single day. But for me, I know that that's not my current reality. Like, I physically cannot do that right now. I have places I got to be. I got things I got to do. But it could mean showing up and creating content. It could mean practicing my keynote message, my signature story, getting in front of a new audience weekly. It could be outreaching with organizations within my city where I can go and speak and set up my calendar for the year for opportunities. And I don't know what that looks like for you, but pick something small, but also something that's stretching you a little bit that you can do that you can commit to for 30 days. If you would like to do that with me, put obsessed in the comments, let me know. That just makes me so happy when I see people going and getting after it. I eat that up. So let's do it. All right. Now, all right. I'm going to see if there is anything final that I would like to share here. The next takeaway that I'm definitely going to share is confidence comes when you decide to do it. Not when you become confident first. Confidence comes when you decide to do it. And not just decide, but you take the action. Okay? Confidence is built after action, not before action. Courage comes from movement and not readiness. It's not about being ready. Courage comes from movement and not readiness. The movement comes first, the courage comes after. You just keep on. And then it's just this beautiful, beautiful cycle. And before you know it, you got that momentum. You're in the groove. So instead of thinking, well, I just don't have the confidence, it's like show up like you would in your most confident self, the best version of you, anyways. Do it. And then walk away. Be who you are. Do what you got to do. I love Mel Robbins said this before. That she just needs that 20 seconds of courage. And I mean, so many people have said this at this point, but you just need that 20 seconds of courage and then you could go back to being a coward. I believe it was Mel Robbins. Could have been someone else, but might have been Darren Hardy. I'm like thinking of like who I have heard so many different versions of that saying. But yeah, just 20 seconds of courage. I'm going to make that phone call. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi. Are you looking for speakers? And then after the call, take a deep breath, go back to your day, do your business. You know what I mean? That was just an example. Doesn't mean you need to do that. And just try it. Just try it. When you move in confidence, that's your momentum. Okay. So if there's something that is digging at you that keeps coming up that you know you need to do, then write it down immediately and take action within 5 minutes. One time. Write it down immediately and take action within 5 minutes of that one thing that you know that you need to do to move the needle forward towards your goal, your dream. And that is your action step for that one. I am moving right along. This is one that I've heard before, and I absolutely love this message. It's keep your energy as neutral as possible. Now, if you know me, I can be a little dramatic sometimes. Just a little bit. Growing up, my highs were high. My lows were low. I was crying. I was talking bad about myself, talking down to myself. Whenever I made a mistake, I was tough on myself when I made a mistake, that it took me so long to get up from that and recover because I was sabotaging myself. And even when I was a leader, I was working for a nonprofit. I was working as a frontline staff, and I applied for a position to become one of the admins, and I got an admin role, and I went from being a peer to being the leader. And then it was just one of those situations where I was like trying to distance myself from the employees that I had so that I could make sure that there was respect there. And it was just really weird. And I thought that I was being a good leader by coming down hard on people and being relentless and expecting the same standards from them that I had. And if they were doing anything less than what I was doing, then I would just think that they were lazy and ungrateful. And it just wasn't the case. I had to learn that the hard way. And I thought that if I just did everything on my own, that I would get stuff done. It was me, myself, and I, whatever. And I was like, before I had to train somebody to do it, I could do it myself. That was not the way to be. And when I was mad, and I thought I did a good job at hiding it. Like I would keep it inside, and then my best friend at work, I would just vent to her and be like, "These people, can you believe?" And I would just word vomit all over the place, acting crazy, all out of just out of pocket. And it would just be like it would just create this energy in me. And I was told when I was getting an evaluation that some of your staff are scared of you. And I didn't want to take that feedback. I was like, what do you mean? No, they're not. And the truth is some of my staff were scared of me. And the people who knew me and I got that took the time to get to know them and things like that, they knew they were like, oh, that's Iesha, she's just very structured. She's very like, things have to be a certain way. And all that led to those really, really high highs and those really low lows led to burnout. I burned out. I could not sustain that energy. So what neutral energy does is it aligns you. It helps you to build emotional regulation. When you have that presence that nothing will offend you or bother you or take you out of character, and everything around you could be crashing down, and you have that calm presence about you, people will come to you. They will gravitate towards you as a leader. They will want to be around you. And when I made that shift, because it was Hurricane Florence 2018, I was leading my staff through that. I felt helpless and just out of control. It was just, we had so many people in our area who lost their homes, and our team had to step up and provide childcare for those who were out there working in the field, like nurses and, those who were considered essential workers. And we had to provide care on a drop of a dime. And a lot of the staff couldn't come in, and there was just a few of us. And I actually had to trust them. I had to delegate. I realized I couldn't do it on my own. And it totally shifted the way that I thought about people and how they showed up. And I realized that everybody doesn't see things exactly the way that you do, and it doesn't make them any less than you, or, it doesn't. And then I was able to see like, wow, this person has a strength in talking to the children who, are having disciplinary concerns. This person is the best person to talk to the parents when we need someone to, make sure that they feel secure, that they're handing over their child to us. And I was able to see strengths in people and pull them out of them and bring them up instead of title. It was a total shift. And I started to feel like I was in a group, and it was because I really wasn't a one-man show anymore. And so your goal isn't to just be all over the place and be like so hard on people. Your goal should be to have your energy as neutral as possible, so you're approachable, so people can come to you with any problem and feel like, oh, that didn't throw her off, or like they're not scared to come to you because, oh my goodness, if Iesha finds this out there, she's going to lose it, And so, which was the case for me for a while when I thought I was being mature and I really was not being mature. So, it's just one of those things that will help you get really, really far in life. And so, think neutral. Think neutral. Emotional regulation. So if you want to take action on this, put on a little sticky note, be neutral, and put it on your laptop when you're going into a Zoom meeting, You're walking into the conference room, put it in your notebook where you can look at it, be neutral. And it is going to help you come in with a presence. I've heard them say something like executive presence. And I was always like, what is that? What is that? What is that? It's just you walk in where you understand that you are in full control of you and your energy. And it helps to shift the energy in the room in a positive way. And until this is something that is learned, it can be very tough to lead others and to lead yourself. So that is another takeaway that I got from this conference. I'm just checking to see if there's anything else that I really want to provide to you as a tool. And the last takeaway, this is from David Goggins. It is do the hard thing until it becomes normal. Your hard doesn't disappear in your life. You normalize it. You keep showing up, doing the hard. It will become something that is the right thing and the normal thing to do. And it won't feel like a chore to you. You continuing to show up, even when you don't feel like it, will help you to callous your mind. This is something that David Goggins talks about in his book, Can't Hurt Me. And I will definitely leave a link in the description so that you can look that up. But this is something that he has mastered and he shares all the time. He's not trying to get people to be like him. He wants people to be better than him. And he is somebody who has achieved so many things in his life, but he doesn't look at those achievements like I've succeeded, I'm done. He looks at those achievements like there's never a finish line in this life. And you're not done until you're done, meaning you are in the grave and you are done. And that's one thing that I really respect and admire about David Goggins and that I got to just witness being a part of this conference. So I'm going to look at just my takeaway here. Here it is. Okay, so what's one uncomfortable action I've been avoiding? What is that one thing that just feels monstrous to you? Is it losing weight? Is it going after a promotion? Is it updating your resume? Going to, just be in rooms where you're uncomfortable? What is one thing that you've been avoiding? Making a call for prospects, reaching out to those who are already in your circle and seeing what their needs are and how you can help them as a business owner. What is it? What is that uncomfortable action you've been avoiding? Your action step is to do that one uncomfortable action on a micro level. Let's say it's you want to lose weight and that might feel overwhelming. Instead of putting that all on yourself, what's one uncomfortable thing that you could do that's going to put progress into you and your physical health? It's like putting a little bit of money away in a jar and then going back at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the year and saying, wow, I actually put more away than I thought. There's one little thing that you could do. Maybe it's like logging how much water you're drinking for the day and sticking with that for a month and then adding something else. But you can do this. You can do this. We think that sometimes I say we, but if you are like me, then there have been times where you have thought that if you mess up, you might as well just throw in the towel. But it's less of just the action you're taking and more of an identity shift. And so when you do something that isn't in alignment with who you are becoming, it's not about beating yourself up. It's about, okay, I did that one thing that's not defining me. And what's the very next step that I could take that is in alignment with who I am? It's not about being off track or on track or just having a bad day or a good day. It's about the alignment. I am going to put all of these steps into a template for you so that you have this that you can look back on. And I hope that this tool is just a blessing to you, that is encouragement to you, but it's not motivation, it's transformational for you. And each thing that I mention, I am going to make sure that I put the action item there. And I don't want you to try to do all the things that I've said. Just pick one of the things that I've said that resonated with you that you can do. And again, these words are not specifically from me, they are takeaways from the conference that I went to from some of the greatest minds in the world, business owners, thought leaders, authors, speakers. And these are steps that I personally plan to take. So again, just put obsessed in there if you want to hear more about my process and how I do things, if that is content that resonates with you. And I'm going to leave links for you. There were some books that were recommended at this conference that I will put in these PDF as well. So definitely click in the description to get that. And let me know how you're doing and how these episodes are helping you. If there's something that speaks to you, resonates with you, let me know. Let me hear it. I just believe that each of us has something within us that we can do. And we got it in us. We've got to give ourselves props for how far we've come. And we also have to understand that there's work to do. And like David Goggins says, there's no finish line. It's, they're constantly, we're overcomers. Oh, this overcoming isn't just one time. It is over and over through everything that life throws at us. And I'm not here to preach at you. I'm here to share what I picked up and what I plan to implement. And I also am here to provide you with the tools that you need to succeed in every single area of your life. And I'm in the journey with you. I'm in this journey with you. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. And above all else, stay encouraged.